Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Driven Wyld. Today we are talking about I have a delivery. Woman catches police pretending to be Doordash delivery drivers to enter neighbor's home. A lot of the gripes that I have had with the law enforcement community have been both personal and the relationship towards gig workers that they tend to have. Not only do they have a sense of discrimination towards gig workers that I have had both personal and overall seen many experiences of, but in this case, they are now using the prospect of being a gig worker to enter people's homes. So with that said, we are talking about everything that is being said in this article, how it actually is for Doordash, UberEats, and Grubhub drivers, as well as the law enforcement community and their very liberal actions about using our name, apparently, and everything in between. So with that said, let's get started. A group of police officers have been caught pretending to be a Doordash driver on a neighbor's Ring doorbell in a new viral video. Maja Gutierrez at Lovelymajaok posted a video to TikTok on Tuesday, and since it has received 2.6 million views.
Doordash! It's Doordash! I have a delivery!
The things you do for content, huh? I'm gonna leave our TikTok as well as her profile in the description so you can develop your own opinions on the subject. You know, it's funny how law enforcement officers have wrongfully arrested drivers and are revered for that literally so many times over, and will discriminate against gig workers by not giving them a fair trial or not convicting those who have attacked gig workers multiple times over. But then when it suits them, they'll borrow the name of a gig worker to basically break and enter into other people's homes. Like, what the hell is that?
It's Doordash? I have a delivery for 103.
This is G103.
Yeah, I have a delivery for you. Can you open the door? Hi. Yeah, hi. Is anyone else home? You don't live with anyone else here?
I live here.
Okay.
There's no one else here. You want to come and check?
Yeah, can you come in and check?
Go ahead.
Alright, guys. You want to come in here?
Oh, so now you want to pretend to be a Doordash driver, and now we're supposed to trust the idea that you want to just enter our home willy-nilly? I am sure that they have a legitimate reason or questionable reason at best on why they want to see who's in this person's home. Maybe there is a criminal in there or something. But seriously, the law enforcement community is just as bad as pulling illegal shit as they are supposedly enforcing it. In the comment section, viewers were divided over the legal and ethical implications of the ruse. Several suggested that this conduct was illegal, with one commenter adding, they can get in trouble for not announcing who they really are. Exactly. What is to stop somebody from just staying silent at the idea that, hey, we don't have a Doordash order coming? Like, why should we trust the law enforcement community if they're gonna pull even shadier things than what most criminals do? While another said, I feel like Doordash wouldn't like this. I feel like Doordash would end up taking in the quote-unquote publicity of letting the law enforcement community borrow their name in the name of justice. Yet most of the commenters disagreed with the tactic. Some pointed out that there may be a good reason for the deception. Someone could have made an emergency call and was trying to be discreet, one said. Okay, that's fair. What if this was somebody who was literally calling 911, like one of those 911 calls that have to be made in such a way to where they aren't so free to say, hey, I'm being kidnapped, so they have to be clever about it. Okay, fine. But that better actually be the case. For me, it looks like she hit that text 911 because she was in danger and couldn't call, another suggested. Numerous others also speculated that it could be a domestic violence situation, meaning that it wouldn't be safe for possible victims if the police reveal themselves. You know, that's one thing I gotta say that DoorDash did. They took away an opportunity for those to call for help by accident. Like, this was not at all intentional by DoorDash, but one of the things that I've seen, at least online and through many various stories and shows, is where someone will call 911 and claim that they're trying to order a pizza, when in reality they're trying to call for help, but they can't speak freely. But with DoorDash these days, that's not the case at all. But what's stopping somebody from making this a contactless delivery? Like, really? However, common law suggests that the situation is less clear-cut. Per the knock and announce rule, police officers executing a search warrant should not immediately force themselves onto a property. The officer is required to knock, identify themselves, and wait a reasonable amount of time before forcing their way into the property. In this instance, it looks like the police perhaps failed specifically to identify themselves as this law requires. Okay, it's not surprising that the law enforcement community acts in such a way to where they have to go off book for various reasons, especially with how they've done very questionable things overall. This is why you don't open the door all the way for law enforcement officers. You just peek through it. This is also why you don't answer questions from the law enforcement community without a warrant. You ask for them to get a warrant, and you make sure you read the warrant to see exactly what they're looking for.
But Joe, if they have nothing to hide, they shouldn't worry about that stuff, right?
Considering the law enforcement community is a little fast and loose, and they're not really trying to enforce the law, they're trying to solve a case with whoever fits the bill the best. Yeah, I do believe that it is best to not work with them to the best of your ability. That sounds really messed up, but the facts are the facts. I personally don't trust the law enforcement community, and I've been raised in a family full of blue bloods. That's how bad they've gotten. And here's the other side to that. If they didn't have a warrant and they were gifted the freedom to look into the home and stuff like that, that's your permission. You're giving them that kind of opportunity. And if they decide to plant something, which that has been seen more times than not, then that's on you. Yet ultimately, it's unclear if this violates the knock and announce rule because it's unknown whether the police had a warrant to search the woman's property. It is also arguable that while the police officer said she was DoorDash, the fact that she was wearing a police uniform should speak for itself. Yeah, it says that you've wrongfully identified yourself, so that way you could wrongfully trespass into somebody's property even though they did not want you in their home, which is really messed up. This is my opinion. It's worth what you pay for it. None of you pay me. There you go. Honestly, I think this breaks so many laws, and for so many reasons. And you could say it's discrimination. You could say it is just another display of the piss poor integrity and character of the law enforcement community. You could say it's a lot of things. But I find it interesting how quick they are to discriminate against gig workers, when in reality, they are using the name of gig work to pull this crap. And then we're considered the criminals, when they're doing just as illegal shit, if not more. I gotta tell you, I don't trust the law enforcement community at all anymore. The amount of stories I see nowadays that come up in my Google alerts about, number one, a law enforcement officer that's taking credit for a delivery and being praised like a hero for arresting a gig worker and delivering the meal. And then at the same time, they are also just not convicting those who attack gig workers over and over again and trying to bury the evidence of that. Like, we just saw a article recently about how a guy literally unalived a gig worker, and the original article which was sent to me was completely deleted. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I made a video talking all about that in the description. Feel free to check it out. But it just goes to show that you can't trust the law enforcement community anymore. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. As always, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.